You think silence means weakness, until the silent woman finally opens her mouth. And when she does, the whole world shakes. I never knew betrayal had a sound, until the moment it echoed through my own kitchen. A soft, careless laugh, a whisper that wasn't mine, an unfamiliar voice humming like she belonged there. It was strange how such small, simple sounds could rip something open inside you so violently. Maybe because it wasn't the noise itself. It was the audacity behind it. I pushed the door open with my shoulder, exhausted from a 12-hour shift at the clinic. My feet ached, my head throbbed. I was dreaming about nothing but a hot shower and the leftover biryani I'd saved for myself. But the moment I stepped inside, the scent hit me. Not the warm smell of home-cooked food, but a harsh mixture of burnt sugar and cheap floral perfume. It stung my nostrils immediately. I frowned. The lights in the kitchen were on. Amir never cooked, ever. He barely knew how to boil an egg without calling me for help, so who was cooking at this hour? I took 2 steps forward, and froze completely. There she was, a woman I had never seen in my life. Long hair, glossy lipstick, nails so sharp they could slice onions by themselves. She was stirring something on my stove, with a wooden spoon I had bought during our honeymoon trip, the one I told Amir I treasured because it reminded me of us learning to cook together. But it wasn't the spoon, or the stove, or even her presence that made my breath halt halfway. It was the apron. My apron. The soft gray cotton one, with little embroidered lemons on the pockets. The apron I wore every evening while cooking dinner for him. The apron he used to tug at from behind just to kiss my neck. The apron stained with memories he promised were real. She was wearing it like she owned it. And Amir was leaning against the counter, laughing softly at something she said. Like this was casual. Normal, accepted. My bag slid off my shoulder and hit the floor, but neither of them turned immediately. The audacity, the comfort, the disrespect. It wrapped around the scene like poison. Then Amir finally looked up. His smile faltered, dropped, stiffened. For a brief, fleeting second, guilt flickered in his eyes. A tiny spark, a truth he didn't want to confront. But it vanished quickly, swallowed by something colder. Arrogance. "Oh," he said, "you're home early." As if I was the intruder. As if I had interrupted his evening plans. As if this was somehow my mistake. The woman in my apron turned her head lazily, her lipstick too red and too smudged for someone who claimed innocence. Her gaze slid over me with mild curiosity, not shame. "Babe," she said to Amir, flicking her hair. "Should I chop the onions now? Babe." The words slapped me harder than anything else in the room. Amir didn't correct her. He didn't apologize. He didn't pull the apron off her and tell her to leave. He simply shrugged. I looked at him, waiting, just waiting. For him to explain something, anything. A joke, a misunderstanding, a lie I was actually craving because the truth felt too sharp to swallow. But he only sighed, annoyed. "Don't start, Zara," he said, using the tone he reserved for moments when he believed I was being too emotional. "She's just helping me cook. Helping him cook, in my kitchen, in my apron, using my things, breathing my air." I felt something shift inside me, not heartbreak, not jealousy, not confusion. Those emotions belonged to someone who still had hope, someone who believed her husband would never humiliate her like this. No, what I felt wasn't fragile. It was cold, steady, sharp as a blade. Because this wasn't the first lie, not the first late night, not the first perfume on his shirt, not the first time he blamed work, not the first time he made me feel like my intuition was paranoia. For months I had been collecting pieces, quietly, silently, carefully, bank statements, hotel receipts, the tone of his voice. At 2 a.m., messages half deleted. His sudden, unexplained purchases. The way his phone faced down every time it rang. I had suspected, I had prepared. But even in my worst fears, even when I imagined him with someone else, I never imagined this level of disrespect. To bring her here? To this kitchen? To let her wear something so personal? Something so intimate? Amir's mother once told me, "A man will show you who he truly is when he no longer fears losing you." Today, he showed me. Because he believed I would stay quiet. I always had. I always swallowed the bitter truth to keep our home standing. He mistook my silence for weakness. But silence can be a weapon. Silence can be strategy. Silence can be the quiet before a storm that wipes everything out. The woman in my apron turned back to the stove, humming again, like she was the one who lived here, like she belonged. I didn't say a word, not because I couldn't, but because I didn't need to. Words are wasted on people who have already decided to disrespect you. Amir rolled his eyes. The woman smiled softly to herself. The kitchen remained filled with the scent of betrayal. And me, I simply watched, because this scene, this humiliating, disgusting scene, wasn't my downfall. It was the final proof I needed, the last spark, the confirmation that the plan I had been preparing quietly for weeks was not only necessary, it was overdue. Let them cook, let them play house, let them enjoy the moment. Because my silence tonight wasn't surrender. It was strategy. Amir had no idea that his biggest mistake wasn't cheating. His biggest mistake was assuming I knew nothing. He didn't know I had already uncovered everything. He didn't know I had already started gathering evidence. He didn't know the woman standing in the doorway was not broken, but awakened. He thought this scene would devastate me. He had no idea it was about to destroy him. And when I finally opened my mouth, not tonight, not yet, but soon, his entire world would collapse so loudly, so violently, that even the woman wearing my apron would hear the sound of her easy victory turning to dust. He thought exposing him would destroy us. He had no idea it would rebuild me, piece by piece, truth by truth, in front of everyone he once manipulated. The morning after I found her in my apron, I woke up before the alarm. Not because I couldn't sleep, surprisingly I had slept better than I had in months, maybe because something inside me had finally snapped into place, like the last piece of a puzzle clicking where it always belonged. The house was quiet. Too quiet. Amir was snoring faintly beside me, his arm thrown lazily over the pillow where I used to sleep. I stared at him for a long moment, and for the first time I felt nothing. No anger, no sadness, no desperation. Nothing. Just an empty space where love used to live. He didn't stir when I slipped out of bed, didn't notice when I showered, didn't wake when I walked into the kitchen. The same kitchen where she had stood, the same apron still hanging on the chair, her perfume still faintly clinging to the air. Amir truly believed that because I didn't react last night, because I didn't shout, cry, ask questions, or throw her out, that I had accepted it, that my silence was surrender. He didn't understand silence at all. Silence is preparation. Silence is calculation. Silence is the inhale before the explosion. I packed my bag, made myself tea, and even left a plate of breakfast on the counter like I always did. When he finally walked in, hair messy, yawning, acting like nothing had happened, he gave me a smirk. "Feeling better today?" he asked, grabbing his tea. I smiled softly, a smile so calm it made him blink. "Yes, much better." He relaxed instantly. That was always his mistake. Before leaving for work, he kissed my cheek, careless, dismissive, and I resisted the urge to step back. Instead, I let him think the old routine still held power. "See you tonight?" he said. "Of course," I replied. Because yes, he would see me tonight, just not the version he expected. During my lunch break at the clinic, I didn't eat. I didn't talk. I didn't even sit with my coworkers. I walked straight into the tiny room where I kept my personal files and locked the door behind me. Then I opened the folder I'd hidden for months. One I named Household Finances, so Amir would never bother touching it. Inside were subfolders, payments he made secretly, hotel stays under initial screenshots of messages he thought he deleted, voice clips. I accidentally overheard bank transfers to a woman named Essa. Not me, a photo of him and her in a restaurant 3 towns away, piece by piece. A mosaic of betrayal spread across my desk. Techniques he used. Lies he told. Excuses he repeated until I doubted my own senses. The evidence didn't hurt me anymore. It empowered me. Every file felt like a brick, not breaking me, but building something stronger. A plan. A confrontation. Not with screams, not with tears, but with truth so undeniable it would leave him gasping. He had no idea I had been gathering his lies like ammunition. No idea that I wasn't a broken wife. I was a quiet storm, and tonight he would finally meet it. After work, I didn't go home. I went to my parents' house. My mother opened the door, surprised. "Zara? Everything okay?" I shook my head. "Not yet, but it will be." I told her everything, slowly, calmly. Her eyes filled with tears, but she didn't interrupt. My father clenched his jaw. My younger brother, who always adored Amir, cursed under his breath. "Are you sure you want to do this?" my father asked gently. "Absolutely." He nodded once. Then we stand with you." My mother hugged me tightly, whispering, "You stayed silent for too long. It's time he heard you." Exactly, it was time. We arranged the living room, set up the projector I borrowed from the clinic, placed enough chairs for everyone I invited. Yes, not just family. I invited his parents, too. His sister, his business partner, his aunt who loved gossip more than oxygen. And yes, her. If Amir wanted drama in my kitchen, I would give him truth in my living room. The kind of truth that leaves scars. One by one, people arrived. Confused faces, concerned whispers, questions I didn't answer. Amir's mother greeted me warmly, still unaware. His father frowned, sensing something heavier. The mistress walked in last, wearing a dress too flashy for the occasion, clutching her purse nervously. Good. She should be nervous. Amir arrived 10 minutes late, of course. He walked in laughing, ready to charm the room. But the moment he saw the projector, the files in my hands, the expressions on our family's faces, he stopped. "What's going on?" he asked, voice tight. I stepped forward. My hands didn't tremble. My voice didn't crack. "It's time for the truth," I said simply. He swallowed. "Zara, can we talk privately?" "No. This is where your lies lived. This is where they end." I clicked the projector. And the first screenshot appeared. His messages: "I miss you already. Zara thinks I'm at work. Wear something cute tonight." Gasps filled the room. Slide after slide, lie after lie, truth after truth. His world began to collapse. Receipts popped onto the screen. Late-night calls, hotel check-ins, bank transfers, photos he thought he deleted, audio clips where he whispered excuses to her. His mother covered her mouth. His father stood up, furious. The mistress stared at the floor, her lipstick trembling. Amir's face turned pale, then blotchy red. "Zara, stop this!" he shouted. But my voice was steel. "You do not get to ask me to stop. Not anymore." He stepped forward, reaching out. "Please, let's talk." I took a step back. "We are talking. Or rather, I'm speaking, you're listening. For once." He looked around, seeking sympathy that wasn't there anymore. His charm, his confidence, his arrogance, none of it saved him now. When the last slide ended, silence took over the room, a heavy silence, a final silence. "This," I said softly, "is what you built behind my back. These are your secrets, your lies, your choices, and today they belong to everyone you deceived." Amir collapsed onto the chair, defeated, and I stood tall. I picked up my bag, walked to the door, and turned back one last time. "You thought exposing you would destroy us," I said quietly. "But it didn't destroy me. It freed me. And with that, I left." Amir didn't call after me. He couldn't. Not with the weight of every exposed lie crushing the voice he once used to silence mine. For the first time in years, I breathed freely. And for the first time ever, he tasted the silence he had forced on me. Only now, that silence belonged to him.